President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is attributing the developmental stride in Abia State to the removal of fuel subsidy. He said the removal of the fuel subsidy enabled Governor Otti to execute key developmental projects in Abia State. The president made this known during a one-day official visit to Abia State on Friday, where he was represented by the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi. This is vintage Bola Ahmed Tinubu claiming other people's own achievement. We are not new to this. After he left Lagos State, he is still claiming the developmental stride in Lagos State. He claimed that he built Lagos, despite not doing anything as governor of Lagos State. He claimed the achievement of Fashola, he claimed the achievement of Ambode. As a matter of fact, they have been using the achievement of these governors to campaign for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying he is the one responsible for all the developmental stride going on in Lagos State, that he gave them the roadmap and the blueprint for the development of Lagos State. Now he's going to do the same thing in Abia State. Abia State is one of the fastest growing states in Nigeria. Abia State has one of the best performing governors in Nigeria in the person of Dr. Alex Otti. The developmental stride being seen in Abia State has nothing to do with the removal of fuel subsidy. What Abians are enjoying is a reward of voting in a competent leader. What Abians are enjoying is a reward of democracy being allowed to play out in Abia State. We all saw what happened in Abia State during the last election. Abia State was to be weak for PDP. Abia State has been misruled by the PDP government for a very long time, till 2023 general election, when the people of Abia State vowed that enough is enough. They went out en masse, vote in a competent leader. It is the competency of Governor Alex Otti that is bringing in the developmental projects you are all seeing in Abia State, not the removal of fuel subsidy. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu is claiming that it is the removal of fuel subsidy that is driving in the development in Abia State, why isn't that same removal of fuel subsidy affecting every other state in Nigeria? As a matter of fact, why isn't Nigerians benefiting from that same removal of fuel subsidy? Why only Abia State? The removal of the fuel subsidy plunged Nigerians into poverty, hardship, excruciating pains, inflation. It increased the price of goods in the market. It reduced the quality of life of the people and the purchasing power of the people. The idea for the removal of fuel subsidy was to free up funds for developmental projects. But yet, Nigerians are not experiencing that developmental project across board. Our roads are still in dilapidated state. Our hospitals are still in shambles. Our schools have not been equipped. Our debt profile has skyrocketed under Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. As a matter of fact, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has borrowed more money in 2 years in office than President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Yar'Adua, and late President Muhammadu Buhari combined. Therefore, the main purpose why fuel subsidy was removed has not been achieved. It has not been met. We are still borrowing. We are still in debt. Our infrastructures are all decayed. So what exactly is Bola Ahmed Tinubu bragging about the removal of fuel subsidy and giving more money to state government? Like I said earlier, the people of Abia State are not enjoying the proceeds from the fuel subsidy removal. They are enjoying the dividends of having a visionary leader. They are enjoying the benefit of having a competent leader at the helm of affairs, someone that is managing their resources, someone that is utilizing their resources effectively. Despite enjoying all of this from Governor Alex Otti administration, they are still plagued with inflation. Of course, the people of Abia State are still suffering the inflation that was caused by Bola Ahmed Tinubu bad administration. They are still suffering from insecurity. They are still paying exorbitant fee for fuel. They are still suffering the brunt of weak naira. All of these were caused by the bad government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu is so sure that his government is so effective that the removal of fuel subsidy is aiding the development in Abia State, how come all these areas that are under the exclusive list of the federal government are biting hard on Nigerians? How come insecurity is still worse? What Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do is called deflection tactics. They are trying to shift the responsibility of developing the country to the state governors. That is the reason why they are telling you to hold your governors accountable. So when they see any governor that is performing very well, they will attribute it to the money they are giving the governors. The more money that is going to the allocation to the states. In as much as we may want to hold our governors responsible, you need to understand that the kind of system we run in Nigeria makes everything they are doing in their state ineffective. The bulk of the call falls on the table of the president. One major thing that the people of Abia State face, despite the developmental stride in Abia State, is inflation. And inflation is not caused by Governor Alex Otti. The president is responsible for the inflation we are experiencing in Nigeria. Another thing they are also experiencing is high interest rate and taxes. The president is in charge of fixing the interest rate through the Central Bank of Nigeria. Another aspect is the high cost of imported goods in the country, and this is caused by high custom fees. Another one is insecurity. State governors are not responsible for providing security in Nigeria. The federal government is responsible for providing security to Nigerians. So the federal government cannot shift the blame to the state governors. They cannot put the bulk of the matter on the table of the state governors. The federal government is to be held responsible. The federal government is responsible for Nigeria underdevelopment. The federal government controls over 68 items on the exclusive legislative list, including railways, aviation, and even weights and measures, leaving states with limited authority over essential services like education and health, which are on the concurrent list, but often dominated by the federal government funding and policies. If Tinubu wants us to hold the state governors responsible, then we need to change our system of governance. We need to give way of this federalism that we are practicing, because federalism renders many states redundant. It has turned many states into mere administrative appendages of the federal government. States now depend on federal allocations for up to 80 to 90% of their budget. This dependency discourages fiscal innovation. Governors often prioritize lobbying in Abuja over local development initiatives, leading to redundant governance structures where states duplicate federal efforts without adding value. Go to the north. There are states in the north that are unable to register their students for WAEC. We are talking about education that is the bedrock of any society, but states like Sokoto was reported to not have registered a single candidate for NECO. Look at insecurity that we are experiencing in Nigeria, for instance. Insecurity is in virtually every state in Nigeria. Security is controlled exclusively by the federal government. If there is a threat in any state, the federal government will determine whether to post security personnel there or not. Why can't the state governors manage their security? Why can't they manage security? This will lead to immediate response to security threats in any case of danger. We can go on and on with how we cannot hold the state governors accountable. The federal government are responsible for the problem, the bulk of the problem we are experiencing in Nigeria. This does not mean that the state governors are not complicit. They are very much complicit in the problem we are experiencing in Nigeria. But the bulk of the problem falls on the table of the president, and they cannot shy away from it. So Tinubu needs to start taking responsibility of the problem we are facing in Nigeria. If he believes so much in the removal of fuel subsidy, then every Nigerian needs to experience the effect of the removal of the fuel subsidy in things that they benefit directly from the federal government. For instance, power. It was under Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration that we constantly sang the national anthem of the national grid collapsing. We weren't used to the national grid collapsing. It was under Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration that we got used to the national grid collapsing. Why couldn't the resources gotten from the fuel subsidy removal be channeled into improving the power sector in Nigeria? The people of Abia and 6 other local governments in Abia are enjoying 24/7 electricity in Abia State because the state government invested in electricity in Abia State. Why isn't the federal government investing in electricity in Abia State? Where are all the funds that have been recovered from the fuel subsidy removal? If they are trying to tell us that the funds were all given to the state government via allocation, where then is the revenue gotten from the sales of crude oil? Where are all this money going into? They are going into the purchase of a presidential jet. Governor Alex Otti did not buy a presidential jet. He did not even buy a foreign vehicle for his official car. He's using a locally made vehicle from Innocent. If Governor Alex Otti was as wasteful as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the people of Abia State will not have been experiencing this developmental stride they are experiencing under Governor Alex Otti. The difference between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Alex Otti is that Governor Alex Otti is managing the resources of Abia State effectively. He understands the concept of public fund. He believes that public fund is meant for public good, not for personal use. Unlike Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is wasting public funds. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu so much believe that it is the fuel subsidy removal that is aiding in the development in Abia State, he should show us his scorecard. What exactly is the scorecard of Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2 years plus in office, and he cannot boast of any development so far that has affected the life of Nigerians positively? We will not fall for his gimmicks. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.